Hi, welcome to Southeast PA weather. So we have a lot to talk about. First, I want to take a quick segment on what could happen this winter, uh, explain like how this El Nino, all the warm waters in the Pacific could influence our winter, and then we'll go ahead and dive into the forecast for the next week or so, and maybe take a look at some of the long range to see if the heat could come back or if it's going to stay active and cooler. So first, as you can see, this graphic here shows a lot of uh, warmer water in the Pacific, and that's really going to influence what's going to happen this winter. So here's another graphic. This is usually what happens in El Nino winters. So you have drier air. It's usually drier in the Ohio Valley into the Mississippi Valley, and wetter due to more active and suppressed jet stream. And due to that, there can also be more more nor'easters. Excuse me. Um, and that's really something to watch. You also have warmer temperatures in the northern tier, and so it's usually means wetter in the south. You can all just because it shows warmer temperatures in the north doesn't mean it's always going to be warm. You can still get like all these Arctic blasts, and it doesn't mean it's not going to be cold enough for snow. It definitely will be, especially in like far north, like North Dakota, Minnesota, Montana, etc. And also, same thing goes for the Ohio Valley. It's not always going to be dry. You're going to get something. Um, but and if we look at the other models, like the actual models, they also show that. Okay, so this is the CFS model, um, and we can see like what the pattern could potentially look like with this. So this is August. I'm gonna go to October. So that's when it starts getting cold, and you can see you have cooler temperatures um in the east, um or somewhat cooler temperatures, especially in the northeast, bit of a southeast ridge, which could mean some storms traveling through the Ohio Valley and southern plains. Also, you have definitely some warmer temperatures in the west and into western Canada and Alaska. Um, but let's move on to November, and you can see we're starting to get. It looks like much of the U.S. is warmer than average, but there are some cooler temperatures in eastern Canada. Then, as we go into December, you get some warmer temperatures in Canada, and that spreads into the northern plains. Still kind of average on the Gulf Coast. Then January, a whole different story. I mean, it gets decently cold across the south and colder across Alaska, and still across the north, still looking pretty warm. Then as we head into February, I mean, yeah, a lot of the country is dealing with warmer temperatures. And also I want to take a look if you take a look in like southeastern Canada, you see all that warmth. If that is in Canada, I mean, if that's in Greenland, that's really going to enhance the amount of snow we see in the east, due to a certain thing called a Greenland block that kind of traps the cold air in place in the east and allows for a lot of snowstorms to happen if the jet is really active in the south, which it most likely will be. Then March, I mean, it's still really cold and all that warmth gets trapped up in Canada. Um, and April, I mean, that's kind of the end of winter, still kind of cold. If we take a look at the precipitation, so definitely pretty wet for much of the area, or much of the US. Still kind of dry in Pacific Northwest, and then November, getting sort of dry in the northern plains. Nothing to call home about, but um, it's certainly wet in the east and the south. Um, December still looking pretty wet across the east, and you're now starting to see more precip showing up in the west, which is definitely pretty common in El Nino winters, and it's still pretty somewhat dry in the north central states such as Montana, Wyoming, and the Dakotas. And then January, this is why I think there's a nor'easter potential. You can see all a huge area of the east showing up in the green, which is above normal precip, and with the addition of cold air, you can get these huge, absolutely huge storms. An example of this is the 2016 blizzard, if you remember that. 1982 was also a big year. Um, yeah, so just because it's dry, it could be dry and a little bit warmer than average in the north, doesn't mean you can't get these blockbuster snowstorms. If if you have the cold air, then it's most likely going to happen. February, we start to see some drier air in the eastern and central states. Um, I don't really know how much I believe this, considering we still have the El Nino in that time frame. Um, but we'll see what happens. And then March, um, yeah, pretty much the same thing. If we look at the Canadian model, it's pretty cold across the north in the winter on this model. Um, and precip wise, pretty much the same. I mean, you can see this is why we're thinking there could be a nor'easter type pattern. And so yeah, I think this winter could be pretty active across our area, also across surrounding states, and maybe even the South. I think the South has a chance to get something this winter, but we'll just have to see if these Arctic blasts are strong enough. Then we could get a big storm. Um, but if the Pacific jet is too fast, then we're not really gonna see too many Arctic blasts. They can still happen, but it's not gonna be as frequent, um, due to strong, mild Pacific air coming through. Okay, let's get into the forecast for the next few days. So before I start talking about this, I just want to say that the the hours and the days are on the top of your screen. It says Wednesday, July 29th, 2026, time I'm recording this video. So, okay, so let's begin. So, we have this storm moving across New England. It's bringing flooding rains, and some wind to parts of the coastal regions. We have a 999 low that's going to be moving northeast, and it's not really going to affect us that much. We could have some showers coming in this afternoon, as you can see on this model. Um, Not everyone's going to get them, though. I think it's going to be mainly the northern and eastern parts of the area, such as like Allentown, Levittown, and Easton, those sort of areas, um, and areas northeast of that, such as like northern New Jersey and stuff. But I wouldn't rule out a shower in like Chester County, Montgomery County, maybe even Lancaster. We'll see. So that storm, there could be some lingering showers overnight. I'm not really buying it, but we'll see. Um, Storm starting to move near Cape Cod. May have some showers to deal with there. Then Thursday, it looks pretty nice Thursday, but there may be some showers to deal with as well. It's gonna be kind of like today. It's not gonna be for everyone. It's gonna be more isolated And again, northern and eastern areas are more likely to see them. And then as we move on, Thursday night looks really, really nice. Then Friday as well looks absolutely gorgeous. No rain to deal with Friday, Saturday. There may be some pesky showers to the north, but not looking like anything that we had yesterday. Um, and you do see those showers and storms making a return to the Ohio Valley and Western PA. So Saturday night looks fine. There may be a few showers moving into the area, but it's not going to be anything crazy. Sunday looks to be the next active day. There could be some showers, maybe a few storms. It is kind of far out, so we'll have to iron out the details, but it does look like an active day, especially across Western PA on this particular model. Those storms start to move northeast, kind of staying in the same areas. So Sunday night, there may be some showers to deal with, maybe a few storms, but that's still kind of far out. And then, yeah, it could get pretty wet early next week, but we'll still have to iron out the details with that one. It's still a good 5 or so days out. Yeah, so let's take a look at the temperatures. Okay, so let's start with today. It's gonna be pretty beautiful day, across the entire region. 70s, 80s in some places, especially like Philadelphia and Reading. The more urban areas, are gonna be in the 80s. 70s for everyone else. There may be some 60s in northern areas, more higher elevation areas in Lehigh County, but it's still gonna be pretty nice. Again, we could deal with some showers that could bring the temperatures down a little bit. Then tonight we're gonna be nicely tucked in the 60s, maybe some 70s near Philadelphia and other places along the Delaware River. Then pretty much the same as today on Thursday. 70s, maybe a few 80s. And yeah, nothing really beautiful days ahead of us. So make sure you get some time outside. Friday morning, really nice, a little warmer, could be a little humid. If you check the dew points, it's gonna, yeah, a little humid, 60s, nothing really crazy, but it could be a little bit muggy. Yeah, we start to warm up a little bit more, widespread 80s, maybe a few 70s in higher elevations. Even got some high 80s and low 90s to the southwest of us. Not for us on Friday, though. Then as we head into Saturday morning, pretty warm, low to mid 70s already at 8 a.m. On Saturday. Then as we head into Saturday afternoon, we could see some 90s on Saturday. I wouldn't be surprised, especially in the city. It looks like there could be some 90s as well as west of us, maybe western Lancaster County getting on some low 90s. Everyone else still mid to high 80s. So it's gonna get pretty warm. I wouldn't really call this a heat wave because this is just average summer heat. As we head into Sunday morning, still pretty much the same, low to mid 70s again. Really uncomfortable weather. So just try and get outside before it gets too muggy. Then as we head into Sunday afternoon, 80s, maybe some 90s near the city and along the Delaware River. But you can see those cooler temperatures to the west of us due to that rain potential rain. Yeah, you can even see some mid-90s in parts of Virginia and Maryland. I wouldn't, I don't think we're gonna get there, but it's not off the table yet. It is still a few days out. Then as we head into Monday morning, still pretty much the same. It's not gonna get as warm though, because there could be some showers and thunderstorms. I want to watch this day. Um, yeah, so potentially high 70s to low 80s. Not really getting too warm, kind of like today, but it's probably gonna be humid that day due to the potential of some storms. Okay, that was the forecast for today. Hope you enjoyed today's video. I'll be back tomorrow to discuss more of the long range pattern and forecasts, and maybe dive into what Sunday and Monday's storm could look like. Thank you.